Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay then. Last class where we stopped. Last class we created one simple hello world program, hello world template. We rendered by using React or not. We rendered that content by using React. Okay, let's start. What are the prerequisites, like if you want to render some content by using React? Okay, how we can start? First, what things are required? Just recap yesterday's discussion. First of all, we need what? Content. Okay, first one is what? Content. Okay, the next one is what? Container. Okay, content and container. In this case, content is nothing but what? Content is nothing but what? Simply what you want me to show to the end user. What you want me to show to the end user. It may be hello world text, it may be a tab table, it may be a list, it may be a registration form, it may be a login form, anything. It's a template. That is the content. Okay, now once you have the content, that content where you want me to place inside a container. Can anyone tell what is the container? Container is nothing but what? Container is nothing but what? One simple element. In that element, you are going to place your template. Whatever the template is there, the template you are going to place it. Okay, that element simply you can write like div one container. You can write it. Okay, I have the content. Okay, I have the container. The next one is what? The next step is what? The next step. Can anyone? The next step. I have the content. I have the container. Yes. Place content inside container. That's it, right? Place content inside a container. Okay, these three steps, not only for React, if it is like a JavaScript also same, if it is like a Vue.js also same, Angular also same, like this only. So let's start. First point, how we can prepare content in React? That is the question. How we can prepare content? How we can prepare a template? By using what? By using components. By using components, we can prepare some content or not. How many types of components are there in React? How many types of components are there? Two types of components are there. Okay, what are those? The one is like functional. Okay, another one is like what? Class components or not. Okay, one is like functional, another one is like class components or not. Okay, now you don't know about the class, just leave it. Okay, you know, right, how my function is looks like in JavaScript. Can we go with the functional component? Okay, let's start. Okay, the first point, okay, is nothing but preparing the content. How we can prepare the content? By using component. My component is like a functional component. So my functional component syntactically how it looks like? It's a simple normal JavaScript function or not. Okay, how you can write the function? You can write the function, any name you can put it based on your requirement. Okay, hello world, for example, hello. Done. Okay, done. The next thing, this function, I'm not using like a normal JavaScript function. I'm going to use like a component. So this component should gives me what? Some content or not. We are using components for preparing the content. So one function, generally, one function, how it gives some content or some result back. One function, how some result back, how it gives some result back by using return or not, by returning something. Okay, it will give back or not, it will give something back. So this is the component. It should have to return some template or not. What is my template? Anything. Hello world. Hello world. Done. Okay, here can anyone tell? This is your content. This is your content. Okay, that whole thing is like a component. Okay, this component name is what? Hello component returns this content or not. Okay, how you can prepare the content in React? How you prepare content in React? Okay, by using components only. Okay, how you are preparing this one? What it called in your React? You prepared content by using JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript and XML. Okay, JavaScript and XML. Now this JSX is a combination of three things. What are those? One is like HTML plus XML plus JavaScript. Okay, what is HTML? HTML is nothing but it's a tag based one. All tags given by whom? W3 people, World Wide Web people. XML is nothing but it's a tag based one. It's a user defined tags or not? User defined tags. JS, JavaScript. It's like a variables are there, okay, functions are there, like this multiple things are there. It's a combination of the JSX is the combination of HTML, XML, and JavaScript. So in this particular area, you may write HTML, you may write XML, you may write JavaScript. In this case, what you written? In this case, what you written? You written HTML. You written HTML. Okay, done. Now tell me, what is the main difference between JSX and XML? JSX and HTML? JSX and HTML. By using HTML also you can prepare templates, right? Okay, by using JSX also prepare templates. What is the main difference between JSX and HTML? Means my JSX code is going to compile. Okay, but my HTML code, there is no compilation, nothing. There is no compilation, nothing. That is only the main difference. Okay, now who can compile this one? Is my browser is going to compile? No. Okay, who can compile? To compile this code, okay, one person is required. Okay, that guy is like a Babel. That guy is like what? Babel. Okay, my Babel is the library to compile your JSX content or not. Okay, done. Now, see, this one is the component, and this one is like a component returns this content. This content is going to compile by Babel. So finally, the total 18, 19, 20 lines provides you what? A compiled content or not. The total component provides you like a compiled content. If you have the compiled content, that means if you have the content, where you want me to place this content? Inside the container or not? Inside the container. Now tell me, who can place that content inside the container? Who can place this content inside the container? We have one more library is there, that is called as React DOM is the library or not. By using React DOM library, we can render your content inside the container. Okay, inside React DOM library, okay, which method is there to render your content? Render is the method. Render is the method. Okay, already all these things yesterday we discussed. Render method take how many arguments? Render method take how many arguments? It's take like 3 arguments. What are those? My first one is like a element. Okay, my second one is like your container reference. My third one is like callback or not. Now tell me, what is this element? Container is nothing but the space. This is my container. Container reference, how we can get it? If my container have some ID or something, ID equals to root, then the time how we can get the reference of this particular element? By using ID you can get it or not. So I have the second argument. My second argument is like what? Document dot get element by ID of what? Root. I have the container. Inside the container, you have to place the content or not. So he said like element. He said like element. So how we can use one component? How we can load one component? Okay, you can say it, no problem. Okay, how you can use? How we can load one component? How we can load the component in React? Always we load in the form of element format. Okay, how my element format is looks like? Open one and close, self-closing element, open one and close. These are the two syntaxes for element or not. Either you can use self-closing element or either you can use like open and close element. Any one of this one you can use it. So in your React, if you want to load your component, compiled version stored. Okay, that one at the time of build you can see that. Okay, I will show that. Okay, JSX content, how it is going to compile, how it is going to turn to be, I will tell in future. Okay, here see, this is my component. Okay, this component, if you want to load, in which format you are going to load? In the element format we are going to load. So what is my element name? Hello. Can anyone tell my hello is like a W3 element or it's like user defined element? It's like which type of element? It's like a user defined element or not? It's not like a W3 element. So okay, here element we can place here. Hello is my element. Okay. Now my question is, React DOM is an object. Yes, my browser knows JavaScript so that my browser can understand this is an object. Render is the method my browser can understand. But is my browser by default know about the XML tags by default? Okay, if my browser find any W3 tag, then my browser can understand. Yes, div I can understand, span I can understand, image I can understand. But by default, my browser don't know about this user defined tags or not. So my browser simply tell like, okay, I am not recognize this one like a tag. I'm not recognizing this tag. Okay, it's like a tag based only. It's like a syntactical. It's like looks like tag only, but I didn't find this tag. Then the time one more person is required. Hey, don't treat this one like a normal tag or something, W3 element tag or something. Okay, can you treat this one like a component, React component? Okay, like this some other person has to tell about this element to my browser or not. Who is that guy? Who is that guy? That guy is like a React library or not? React library or not? So overall, how many libraries are required to run this one? How many libraries are required to recognize this one like a component? We need one library called as the React. The next one, this particular component returns some content. That content is going to compile with what? Babel. Once you have the content, that content has to render. That is done by React DOM. These are the three libraries we are going to use or not. Okay, to render some content by using React inside a browser. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, can we go with another example? Okay, my requirement is very simple thing. On one simple box. Okay, don't think more. Okay, like this I want to show. Okay, in the last example, what you show to the end user? Okay, see here, hello world. Okay, hello world. This is visible to the end user. This is the template or not? Okay, now I want to show one box. I want to show one box. Okay, that's my requirement. Okay, very simple thing. Okay, let's start. Okay, how we can we create one HTML page like box.html? Okay, that's right. Okay, how we can anyone? How we can start at least? How many things are required first? What things are required? The first one is like a content. The next one is like a container. Once these two are ready, place your content inside the container. These three are common for any requirement or not. Okay, at least first start. Container. Container is nothing but one simple HTML element to place your content. So that can we write my container? What is my container? Any HTML element you can write it. Most of the times we are using like a div. Okay, with the ID equals to root. Why? Because all your content is going to place inside this container only. Okay, my container is ready. What is the next one? Can we prepare the content? In React, how you can prepare the content? In React, how you can prepare the content? Can anyone? In React, how we can prepare the content? By using components. How many types of components are there? Two types. One is like functional, another one is like class. So can we go with the functional component? Okay, functional component, how it looks like? It is like a normal JavaScript function only or not? So that inside the HTML, if you want to write one JavaScript function, where you can write? inside a script tag or not, inside a script tag. Done. Okay, here can we write my component, functional component. Okay, how we can write? Just my component name is this one. Done. Now tell me, this component should return which content? In the last example, my content is like hello world, so that you return like this. Okay, return one div hello world. Okay, like this you return. But now, do you want me to show hello world or you want me to show box? You have to show one box or not, so that can we remove this one? Okay, there is no content, nothing. Okay, I want one box. Okay, if you want this one, if you want the view like this, okay, take one div. Can we give the border for this particular div? Then the time my box is ready or not? How we can give the border for this particular div? How we can give the border? Then by using CSS we can give it or not. By using CSS we can give it or not. So inside HTML, how we can write the CSS? Inside HTML file, if you want to write the CSS, where you can write? Inside the style tag or not? Inside the style tag. Now for this particular div, I want to write, I want to apply some styles. So how we can? Okay, which styles you want me to apply first? Okay, I want to give like a width is like 100 pixel. Okay, the next one is like height 100 pixel. Okay, my display inline black, inline black. Okay, these all I want to apply for this particular div, these three properties. So what you needed here, selector is required or not? How many types of selectors are there? Multiple selectors are there. ID selector is there, class name selector is there, any one of these one you can use it. My ID equals to box. So how we can represent that ID selector in CSS? Okay, hash. You can use like hash box. Now done. Now see, this is the component. It returns this div. Okay, this div we applied, for this div we applied some styles with the height and display inline block property. The next one is what? Border. My border equals to 1 pixel solid red, solid red. Done. These are my styles. Now this is the component and this one is the content. In your React, this content we are called like what? JSX. My JSX content is going to compile with what? My JSX content is going to compile with Babel or not. So can we get that Babel library first? Okay, how we can get it? Okay, already I downloaded this Babel. Can we load it? How we can load one JS file? Script source equals to babel.min.js or not. Okay, now this guy work is what? This guy work wherever he find the content which is written by component, that content has to compile. So how many components you can write in your application? Only one component or any number of components you can write? You can write any number of components or not? Any number of components you can write it. So each and every component has JSX content, right? Okay, that content has to compile, right? So that how many places you want me to write JSX? Okay, Babel to compile. How many places you have to tell? Okay, one place. Okay, another place, another place. I don't know exactly. So that can we do one thing? Okay, those all things we are going to write under script only, right? So that at script level can we write? Can we tell to my Babel to compile? Okay, how we can tell at script level? By default, my type is like what? For my JavaScript script type equals to text JavaScript. This is the default one. Okay, can we do one thing? Instead of text JavaScript, can we put like a Babel now? Okay, if you put like Babel, wherever the JSX contents you find, that content is going to compile now. Okay, now see, I have a compiled content. I have the container, so that can we load this content inside the container? Can we load the content which is given by the component? Can we load into container? Who can load it? If you want to render your content inside the container, how you can load? There has one more person is there. That guy is going to take care. That guy, who is that guy? React DOM is the library or not? So can we load it? My script source equals to my React DOM.development.js. Okay, done. inside my React DOM.development.js, okay, which method is there to render your content inside the container? My React DOM dot render is the method. Render is the method. The first argument is what? Element. Okay, element is nothing but a content, you can say. Okay, now where is my content? Inside a component, so that my component, okay, indirectly is telling like you have to use your component in the element format. How you can use it? My element is like this or not, or my element is like this or not. Any one of these one you can use it, no problem at all. Okay, now is my browser knows about this element? Is my browser knows about this element? My browser don't know about this one, don't know about this particular element. Why? Because it's not like w3 element or something. Okay, it's like user defined element or not. Okay, as well as this one has to treat like what? Has to treat like a component or not. Okay, my browser don't know what is component. Okay, my browser only knows, okay, this particular function you can use like a normal function call. My browser knows this one. Okay, one function is there, how to call. Okay, that syntax my browser knows by default. Okay, if you use like a class, yes, this one also my browser knows, but my browser don't know, okay, the usage of this particular function in the element format. Okay, this one and this one by default my browser knows. Okay, but if you use this one like a component, that one my browser don't know. So that some other person is required to tell to the browser, hey, can you treat this one like a component? Who is that guy? That guy is my React. So that can we get that React one. Now my script source equals to, okay, React development.js is the library. Okay, first you can load this one. Why? Because my React DOM is depending upon this one. Okay, ready once ready, okay, once this guy is going to tell to my browser, hey, can you treat this one like a component? Yes, my browser can understand this one like a component. What has to do for the component, he will do it. Okay, and then this element gives me some content. That content has to render inside this container or not. So how we can get this container reference? By using document dot get element by id of what? Root or not. This is the one. Now whatever the content is there, that content is going to render inside this container or not. Okay, this is the one. Now can we run it? Okay, it gives me some errors. Can we fix it? Okay, how we can fix it? Right click on that, inspect it. Right click on that, inspect it. Now if you observe here, see in the console there has one error is there. Now can you open the console? Can you check it? Now see, React DOM is not defined. REACT, React DOM is not defined. Can you check my React DOM is there or not there? React DOM. My React DOM is there, right? Okay. My React DOM dot which method? Render method. See, R is like a capital one or not, but you are using like what? Small. So it gives me an error. So that can we copy this one? Copy paste it. React is the capital R. Now can you come here? Can I refresh my page? I'll say this box is ready or not. So we're good. Did you understand or not? Got it or not? Okay, the script, the production script used, the compile script used, right? So that it gives me some warning. Okay, in the production, it will never give any warning. Okay, let's start. Now my requirement is this box is there, right? Like this, I want 9 boxes. Okay, like this, I want one box here, one box here, one box here. Okay, like this 9 boxes I want. That is my requirement. Can anyone? How we can start? If it is only the requirement, how we can do it? Okay, here same boxes, same size. Okay, same. Okay, like this. Can anyone suggest how we can do it? We can render 9 times. Okay. Okay, let's start one by one. See, you written one program is nothing but it's a simple 4 lines of code. That's it. 4 lines of code. You get this output. But the thing, the way of practice in initial days is if something is missing, what is the error you are getting? Okay, that error message you should have to remember. Okay, let's start one by one. Now, this is my function, right? I am going to place this B is the capital one already. Now I am going to place with small. Can anyone tell? Will it render or not? See, now I'm going to write like error message. In future, which type of error message you may get? Will it render or not? If it is not, what is the error message? Can anyone? Okay, just come here. Can I refresh my page? If I refresh my page, now see here, my box is not defined or not. My box is not defined. Why? Because very simple thing. It's a function. It's a function, simple JavaScript function. At the time of loading this page, this function loaded. Okay, and then my actual execution is going to start from where? Line number 22. My actual execution is going to start from line number 22. My line number 22 is going to render what? BOX. B is the capital one. Now it is going to check my BOX box is a user defined element or predefined element. It is going to check first. Okay, it's like a user defined element. User defined element. Okay, now it is going to check this BOX is there or not. BOX is there or not. Before that, my browser can understand. Like my React library already is going to tell like if any user defined element which is starts with capital letter, any user defined element starts with capital letter. Okay, just treat that one like a component. Like this, my React library is going to tell to my browser any user defined element. Okay, any element. Okay, user defined limit. Any element starts with capital letter. Any element starts with capital letter. Okay, that one we are going to treat like what? That one we are going to treat like a component. Component. Now, which one is the component? Box is the component. Now it is going to check is there any box component is there? Capital B. Capital B component is there? Not there. So that my box is not defined. Error came. Okay, that is the first thing. Okay, perfect. Now just I'm going to change like this. This is my B. Can anyone tell now? Okay, in the past it's like this one, right? Okay, now just I'm changing like this. Now can anyone tell? Can anyone? Will it gives an error or it's going to render your box? Okay, let's check. If you don't know, just go to your browser and refresh your page. Now if I refresh this one, again it gives me a warning. See this, it's not an error. Okay, the tag box is unrecognized in the browser. Okay, that means my browser can understand what? The browser can understand only W3 elements, right? Only W3 elements. Is my box is the W3 element? Is my box is the W3 element? My box is like not a W3 element. It's a XML user defined element or not. So that by default, is it recognized by the browser? Okay, it's not recognized by the browser. But if any element starts with capital, then that one person is there to tell to the browser, hey, treat this one like a component. But is it starts with capital letter? Is it starts with capital letter? No. If it is starts with capital letter, then the time one guy is there. Who is that guy? React library. That guy is going to tell to the browser, hey, okay, treat this one like a component. Don't say like I'm not recognize this one like that. Okay, treat this one like a component. But this is not like starts with capital letter, right? So that person also not tell anything. If it starts with capital, I will tell like a component. I can recommend it like a component, but it is not starts with a capital letter. So that okay, that guy is going to just leave it. Now it is come to my browser area. My browser, this one is going to check all W3 element is going to check. Okay, there is no W3 element. This is like a box. So that simply he said like what? The tag box unrecognized in the browser. If you mean the render React component starts its name with an uppercase letter. He said a warning like this. Okay, here I'm not recognize this one like a component. Already React library loaded. If it is really like a React component, can you start that one like a uppercase letter? Then the time I can treat that one like a component. He tells like that. Understand? Okay, that is one more thing. Up here, okay. Okay, the next one. Now I removed that return. Okay, I removed this return. Okay, my box, I created a component. Now see here, any element which starts with cap letter, it's like a component. Now is my component returns anything here? In this case, my component doesn't return anything. Generally, why we go for component in React? What is the use of component? Why we go for component? If you want to prepare the content. If my component is not for, okay, is not written any content, we are not used for preparing the content, then what is the use of that component? What is the use of that component? We are using the component for what? To return a content or not. If that component not gives me the content, okay, then what is the use of that particular component creation? Okay, now if you come here, if I refresh my page, now see here, it gives me an error like what? Nothing was written from render. This is usually means return statement is missing, or to render nothing, return null. He is telling like this. See the same error. Okay, this particular box component, nothing is written for rendering. Okay, I want to render some content at the time of loading my component. At the time of loading my component, I didn't find any written content. Then that what I can render? Nothing is there to render. So that he said like what? Return statement is missing. So that you should have to return something or not. You should have to return something. What is that? Whatever the content, that content has to return or not. Okay, now see, the content is there, but you didn't return. Again, it gives me the error, same error. Okay, so you should have to return the content or not. You should have to return the content or not. So for good. Okay, now I'm going to change like this. Instead of root, I place like root1. Okay, now if you observe here, document.getElement by ID of root, then that time you can get the container reference. Now, can I get that container reference? No. Now, if I refresh my page, if the container is not there, then the target container is not a DOM element. Target container, whatever the content you want me to place inside that container is not recognized. That container is not there in the DOM. Then that where I can place that content. In the past, content is not there to place into the container. Now content is there, but container is not there. So that both should be there or not. Both should be there. Now say this. Now it's working as expected or not. Now here I cut it, I paste here. Now can I refresh my page? Now see here, React DOM.render is not a function. Okay, here cannot read property something of undefined. That means my React DOM library is depending upon React development.js library. First React is there, then only React DOM or something I can do it. If the React is not that, before that only React DOM you loaded is nothing but, okay, how I can get some dependencies from React? So you should follow first load React and then React DOM. My Babel, wherever you want, you can load it, no problem. Now come here, can I refresh my page? Understand or not? Okay. The next thing here, the first React DOM.render method, the first element is what? The first argument, not first element. The first argument is what? React DOM.render. The first argument is an element. My element is nothing but W3 also. W3 people provides elements only, right? So that here, if I write like div such, any problem with this piece of code? He said like element only, right? he said like element, this is also element, right? This is also element. Now this is my content, this is my content. My content is like a Sachin is going to place where inside the container. Yes, it's a valid code. Now see, my Sachin is going to place or not. Now you can say my content directly, you can write an element is nothing but HTML content, it's a JSX is nothing but HTML also there or not. Otherwise a component also you can place here. My component always in the form of what? At the time of loading, my component is in the form of element only or not. Okay, either you can use the content, you can take from the component. Okay, then you can write the component here, or you can use like a normal HTML elements also, no problem at all. Okay, why? That's the reason he said like render element. That element may be user defined element or direct HTML element, whatever it is. Clear, understand or not? Now can we try this one? Now can I refresh my page? Okay. Okay then. Now let's start our next requirement. What is our next requirement? Okay, like this I want. My design is like this. 9 boxes I want. So how we can do it? Now can I create one more file? box9.html. Okay, let's start. First, what you needed? Container is required. So I can write multiple times, no problem at all. My container is this one. Inside the container, I want to place some content. Okay, by using what? Components, so that you can create one component function. Okay, this is my component. Any component, most of the times this one is using like a root component. Who can recognize this one like a component? Which library? My React library, so that you can write like React development.js. Okay, this particular component should return some content, okay, this is my content. Okay, the component which returns some content, that one we are going to say like a JSX. That JSX code is going to compile with Babel, so that first of all load my Babel library. The Babel is my library. How we can use that Babel library? How we can tell to that Babel guy to compile that content? By using type equals to text Babel. Now once you have the content, that content you have to place inside the container. For that we have the library called as a React DOM is the library. Okay, React DOM library, which is used for what? To render your content inside the container, so that here you can say like React DOM. If you don't know that one, okay, don't think more. Okay, go to browser. Okay, exactly, you don't know which method, just go to box9, open. Okay, check. Okay, right click on that one, inspect it. Okay, go to your source. Is my libraries all are loaded or not? Yes, React loaded, React DOM loaded. Now open your console, check for React is there or not, check for React DOM is there or not. Inside the React DOM, which method you are using? Okay, React DOM, which method you are using? Render method. Now this one you can copy from here, copy from the console to avoid okay typo errors and everything. You can write like this React DOM.render. The first argument is what? Element. Okay, element is nothing but content. That is like you directly taken from div or something HTML, or already you prepared one component to get the content. If you prepared one component, just you can place that component. Okay, place that component like this, and then this component you have to render there inside the container. So my document dot get element by id of what? Root or not. Then now if you come here, because this content has to load here or not? Yes, it's loaded or not. Done. But my requirement is, do you want me to show yes or you want me to show 9 boxes? I want to show like 9 boxes or not. Okay, let's start how we can do it. Anyone? Okay, leave that boxes. Okay, hello world is there. Let's start with hello world. Okay, I want to show this hello world 10 times. I want to show this hello world 10 times. This is my content. I want to show this hello world 10 times. Yes, how many ways we can do it? Okay, you can loop it. Okay, that one next level. Okay, for now. Okay, like this you can do it. Okay, 3 times if you write my 3 hello worlds printed or not. Yes, 3 hello worlds printed. Okay, but the thing is, today he said like hello world. Okay, tomorrow he said like I don't want world. Okay, I want like dot dot hello dot dot like this. Then the time how many places you want me to change? Okay, here you have to change, here you have to change, here you have to change. Like this, is it the recommended way? Okay, writing the duplicate code is the recommended way. It's obviously it's not a recommended way. Here the content is like what? Hello world is the content. I want to use multiple times or not. How many times? Okay, 10 times or 5 times or 3 times I want to use it. Okay, so that writing the duplicate code is always not a recommended way. It's not a recommended way. And okay, I written like this, but he said like, hey, I don't want like this. I want hello world. Okay, line by line, line by line. Then that what you have to do? What we have to do? Line by line if you want. Okay, inside this div, one hello world. The next one is what? Another div, one more hello world, another div, one more hello world. Like this you can write it or not? Yes or no? Now my div is like which type of element? Black color element. So it takes the full width of my body. Next div also it takes the full width. Next div also it takes the full width or not? Now my hello world in like 3 lines or not? First line, third, second line, third line like this. But if you come here, if I like this, if I refresh my page, it gives me an error. Can anyone read this one? See here. Read it. Inline Babel script. Inline Babel script. Okay, in this particular file it throws an error. Adjacent JSX elements. Adjacent JSX. Adjacent is nothing but what? Side by side. JSX elements is nothing but what? Okay, here. Which one is the JSX one? Can anyone tell? Which one is the JSX one? Okay, line number 6 and line number 12. You find like elements. Okay, which one is the JSX one? Line number 6 is the JSX or not JSX? Line number 6 is the JSX one or not JSX? It's no. Okay, why? Because this is not inside a component or not. It's not inside the component, but here this particular content is going to return from the component or not. It's like a JSX one. Okay, so adjacent JSX elements is nothing but what? Side by side. Okay, this is one JSX element, besides one more JSX element, besides one more JSX element. Okay, so he said like adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in enclosing tag. Okay, did you want a JSX fragment? Okay, you can use it. Okay, that means adjacent JSX elements, okay, side by side JSX elements must be wrapped with one single element. Must be wrapped with one single element. Okay, that element is like a reacted fragment. You can use it. Another one you can use it. Another one you can use it. For now, okay, all these elements must be wrapped with what? A single element. So can I write like this? One div you can take it. Okay, can we keep all these elements inside this div? Now tell me, all your adjacent elements side by side. This is a hollow wall. This hollow wall. This hollow wall. Side by side elements wrapped with one single element or not? Now come here. Can I refresh my page? Now see, it's working as expected or not? It's working as expected. What's wrong with this code? What's wrong with this code? Very simple thing. See here, you written the duplicate code. This is the div duplicate. Okay, the same div you written like how many times? The same div you written like how many times? 3 times you written or not? Now it's like a only one line. For example, in future one table is there. The table contains 100 lines of code. Okay, do you want me to repeat the table? Okay, here, 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 100 times you want me to write like this? 300 lines of code you want me to write? Okay, obviously no. Okay, then how we can? Okay, if you written also, for example, if you want to make some changes here, I want hello world today. Tomorrow maybe change like hello dot dot dot. Then the time how many places you have to do the change? Okay, here you have to do the change, here you have to do the change, and here you have to do the change. Then the time my changing the okay values, okay, costly thing or not? My change is also very costly or not? How many places you are using? Okay, that many places you have to do the changes or not? Then how we can overcome this problem means very simple thing. Which content you want me to repeat multiple times? Which content you are using multiple times? Okay, just find that content first. I want to use this content how many times? 3 times or 10 times. Okay, find that content first. Okay, now I find it. This is the content I'm going to use multiple times. Now in React, if you want to prepare the content, how you can prepare? In React, if you want to prepare the content, how we can prepare? By using a component. So that can we create one more component? Can we create how many components you can create? Any number of components you can create. Can we create one more component? Okay, every component should return what? Some content. Every component should return some content. Done. That means you created one component. Okay, you prepared some content with that component. What is the content? Hello world is my content or not? Done. Now, if you use this hello world content, if you use this hello world component, what it is going to render? It's rendered this particular hello world template or not. So where you want me to use this one? Can I use here? Can I use here? Okay, how you want me to use one component? How we can load one component? How you can load one component? In which format you can load? How my React is going to recognize this one like a component? It should be the element format. It should start with what, capital letter or not, like this. If it is there, then the time my React is going to, okay, my this one is going to treat like a component, and it's going to find that component is going to render your content or not. So how many times you want me to render this component? 3 times or not? Okay, now come here. Can I refresh my page? Hello world. Okay, today he said like hello world. Tomorrow he said like I don't want hello world, I want dot dot dot. Then the time where you want me to change, how many places you have to change? Only one place, it's enough or not? Only one place, it's enough or not? Now you can say one definition for the component. My component which is having a simple piece of code, it's a piece of code, it's having a piece of code which can be reusable or not? Which can be reusable or not? That is nothing but a component or not? A component which contains a piece of code which can be reusable. That's it. Okay, now this component you can use like how many times? 3 times used or not? You can you can ask like, hey, again I am using like what? Again I am using like multiple times, right? Hello like this. Okay, then the time, yes, by using loop, you said like loop, right? Okay, by using looping we can repeat this one. In future we'll add that one. By using loop you can repeat this one. Got it or not? Okay, understand? Okay, now you can change the name of this, not box 9, hello 9 you can. Okay, same like this. Now I want box 9 boxes. I want 9 boxes. I want, so you can write it. What code change you want me to just tell? That's enough. Okay, here if I place like this, now if I come here, open with live server, yeah, I will tell that one next topics those are. Now see, this is my content or not? Do you want me to show this content? Do you want to show this content? No, I want 9 boxes. So that what you can do? 9 boxes I want. So first of all, create one box. How you can create the box? Div and close my div. Here you can write like, okay, one class name equals to, okay, my class equals to box. So can we write the style? Can we write the style? Okay, my style equals to, okay, here you can write your class name is like what? Box is my class name. Okay, whatever the styles we used for box, can we copy paste? These are the styles we used. Can you place it? Okay, done. Can I refresh my page? See, one box ready or not? Like this 9 boxes I want. So can I write like 9 boxes? Okay, here you can write, here you can write 3 boxes for example. My 3 boxes ready or not? Okay, in the next line I want 3 boxes. Then how we can? Next line I want 3 boxes. 3 lines if you want. Then the time just you can place, this is 1 line. Okay, this is 1 line, like this you can place it or not? Okay, 3 lines is nothing but 3 divs. Within the 3 divs you can write these boxes or not? Okay, in the first div I want how many boxes? 3 boxes. In the second div, how many boxes I want? 3 boxes. In the third div, how many boxes you want? 3 boxes. Okay, now can I come here? Can I refresh my page? Now my requirement is ready or not? What's wrong with this code? What's wrong with this code? Today use like my div class equals to box. Okay, he said like a box is the class I use it for another place. Okay, can you do one thing? Can you change like another one? Okay, box 9 or something, box 9 class. Okay, don't use like a div or something. Can you use like a span? then the time how many places you have to change? Here, 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 9 places you have to change or not? Again, you written like a duplicate code, right? Div. Here, div, duplicate code or not? Then how we can avoid this one? First of all, find the duplicate code first. Okay, this is my duplicate content. Okay, this content only I use like 9 times. Okay, do one thing. Okay, whatever you find the duplicate content, with that content prepare one more component. With that content prepare one more component. Can we prepare one more component? Okay, box is my component. Okay, that component, can you return that content? Can you return that content? Now this box component is going to return some content. Okay, done. Now can we use this component instead of hard coding this div? Okay, now how we can use it? Can we write like my box component? How many boxes you want? 3 boxes you want. So that can we use that 3 boxes? Okay, same like this can we use here also? Okay, same like this can we use here also? Now say this syntactically it's correct or not? Okay, now if you want to change the class name like box9, where you want me to change? Okay, here you can change it. Okay, here as usual you have to change or not. Done. Okay, there is no change at all or not other than these 2 places. Okay, for example, if you want to make this div like a span or something, then the time yes you can change it. How many places you have to change? Only one place you have to change it or not? This is the one or not? Again, you created one component, you reuse that component wherever you want or not? Wherever you want or not? So that why we will go for components. My component which contains a piece of code which represents a template. Okay, that can be reusable or not? That can be reusable. Okay, so that in your React or Angular or Vue, whatever it is, you want to write some piece of code, if you want to show something to the end user, just create one component. Okay, that in future that may reuse second time or whatever it is. First of all, create it. One functionality, one piece of you find like this is separate, this is separate. Just create the separate part is one component, another part is like second component. Like this, each and every piece you can create like a component. Understand or not? Okay, by using map method in future we will discuss. Okay, the next one up to here. Okay, now the thing is something like extra thing I want to add it here. How many boxes are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 boxes are there. Can we put like numbers here? Okay, this is my box 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, first box first number, second box second number, like this. I want the numbers. I want the numbers. Can anyone tell where you want me to place that content for this particular box? Can anyone tell the line number? Okay, which line number is going to represent your box? By using which line you created a box? This is my box and this is the box or not? This one is my box or not? Okay, it's like a simple div, right? Okay, inside the div, if you want to place some content, how we can place it? This is my content, right? My open tag and closure tag, this is only my content or not? If you come here, can I refresh here? Okay, can I save it? See, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 I want in the middle, so that how we can make it as middle? Text align is like a center, and the next one is like line height. You can give it for vertical center equals to 100 pixel. Now if you come here, can I refresh my page? Now it looks like this. Okay, but my requirement is like place the content. Yes, correct only. Okay, you are placing the content here, here. But whatever the content you place, that is wrong. The place is correct, but the content what is there, okay, what you placed, that is wrong. Okay, so that here the first box 1, the second box should be 2. Okay, 3 4 5 like this or not? So that how we can, if you hard code like this, okay, always it's like one only way, because the same div I am using like what 9 times or not? 9 times or not? So that my first box also it is like one, second box also it's like one, third box also it's like one, like that. Got it or not? So that how we can pass this data? Okay, the place is correct, but the data what you placed is wrong. Okay, this is only the place you have to put your box numbers, but whatever the hard code number is there, one, that is wrong. That is wrong. Okay, so how we can give some dynamic data to this particular component? Okay, to this particular component we'll see in the next class. Hope you understand. Okay, Now I'm going to upload this one. Just practice all these things. Oh, this is the one. Yeah. Uploaded. You know, right, how to download. Go to uijavakit.com. Click on React. Click on React app. Okay, come down. Okay, this is the today's class link. Okay, click on this one. Okay, you can download. You can get the today's zip file like this. You can extract it. Okay, once you extract, you can find all your programs. Okay, day 1 to till today. Okay, okay. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining.